matrices. From one customer, I need to reach out to 10 customers. Again, very basic matrices. From a lakh revenue, I need to reach out to a crore revenue. Basic matrices. So you should have your milestones. As ma'am mentioned, business model canvas. It helps you to map your entire business in one sheet to understand the what, why, and how. Okay. Second area. Why do we want to achieve these results? I mean, how, why? Why do you want to achieve these results? To make money, to grow, to add value. Again. The how. How can we do the best to achieve those results? What are the tools and means? So let's say if you are into e-commerce, are you using Flipkart? Are you using Amazon? Are you using Facebook? Are you using LinkedIn? Are you using Instagram to reach out to your customers? What are the ways and means of using digital media or social media technologies? Are you creating your own e-commerce platform? How are you reaching out to your customers? Very important. Again, strategically, you need to align with that. The who, again, very important. Who is your customer? Very basic mapping. Okay. How do you bifurcate your customer segmentation? That's called. How do you do that? Okay. The when. What is the specific thing that will be happening and when? So again, timelines. Okay. Very crucial that you need to have timelines mapped out clearly. A diversion of 5-10% is anyways acceptable. Okay, you will, in your journey from 0 to 1 or 0 to 10, you will always see pivoting happening, which means if you pick up any business in the country today, most of them would have started with something else in mind, and then they moved to become something else. A simple example, Flipkart. Started with what? Book. Today, they are one of the best logistics company, if I have to say that, in that matter, right? So what they started 10 years ago or 8-9 years ago and what they are today is completely changed. Why? Because the market has moved. The consumer behavior has moved. So are you able to think from that perspective that, what will happen in the next 5 years? What will happen to the buyer behaviors? Another simple example, Uber, Ola. Everyone knows, right? Pehle you need to go out on the road and say, Bhaiya Bandra chalega. Ab you don't need to do that. Pehle you don't know whether the charges from A to B on day 1 has been X and from A to B on this next day is Y. Why? There is no transparency. Okay. Security. You don't even know whom you were traveling previously. Today at least you know the name of the person. You can see the ratings. You can see what has his or her performance been over the past time when he has been onboarded, right? So look at the change which has happened. Okay. So that is where you will be able to focus and create value propositions for your business. I always say, as an entrepreneur, we obviously have a very different lens to look at our businesses. Okay. We look at growth, we look at, value. But investors will have a very different lens to look at because they don't look at only value. They look at a lot of aspects of your business from a very different lens. Why? Because the first thing when they look at your business is numbers. Very clear-cut numbers, because that's what excites them as investors. And to talk about it, who's going to drive that particular numbers is the team. You as an entrepreneur, you as a founder, how strong do you have the know-how of that particular business or that industry or that sector? Very important. Okay. The second part is, if you are a team of 3 or 2 founders or 3 founders, do you have a common vision? I personally have a great example of when I was running one of the businesses, which I took an exit. I had a very different vision to look at that particular business. And my co-founder had a very different vision. Okay. We wanted to create a company, but we didn't have common visions. I wanted to look at one of the best service providers in the industry. And my co-founder wanted to only look at, okay, in the next 5 years, we might want to exit this business. So look at the contrasting vision that we both had. right? So it is very important because that's where the challenges start. Approximately 1 out of 10, or I would say 2 out of 10 startups fail because of co-founder conflict. Ego clashes, very dangerous. It has spoiled friendships, it has spoiled relationships in the market. It has actually, got investors into doldrum. And a few investors have lost their money also for that matter. Why? Because the founders don't even know what they want to do. They don't even have a common vision. So it is very important to have common goals or common vision. If not same, similar at least. Okay? Skill sets. Does the team have the required skill sets? For example, ma'am mentioned about it, that what if, you are a single founder and if you, God forbid, God loves you and he calls you up. What happens to my money? It's gone, right? So very important. This is most important. In case if that happens, do you have someone else to drive the car or to drive your business? Does that particular team has the required skill set? For example, if I'm going into deep technology business and I come from a background which is sales and marketing, am I going to be able to drive that? Which means, no. I'll have to have someone who understands technology, who understands what we are doing from a technology perspective. So it's very important as well. Passion, most important. People feel, मैंने एक idea निकाल लिया, पैसे आ जाएंगे, I'll be a millionaire in the next 1 year. No. It's not about 9 to 6. It's the other way. So that is more important. You can't just start a business one fine day and say, okay, I am going to go to office at 9 o'clock, leave at 6 o'clock, ho gaya. Most of the founders or startup entrepreneurs work tirelessly 16 hours, 18 hours. Okay? And that needs passion. It's a lonely journey. It's a lonely journey. None of your friends, will come to you and say, hey, look, don't worry, if you're not making business, here is 10,000 rupees. Go ahead, enjoy. No, it's a very lonely journey at the top. With success comes more responsibility. Same way, entrepreneurship it's scary. So you need to have that perseverance. You need to have that mindset. You need to have that patience. Okay. If you look at pick up any startup, the first 1,000 days is what makes and breaks your business. For that 1,000 day to run, you need to have that kind of energy and passion. I remember when my early days of entrepreneurship, I literally used to go, walking approximately 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, so that I can save some money. Money saved is money earned. As simple as that, right? So you can't, go and, go in a Ola with, a high-end car. You might need to take a rickshaw at some point of time, or you might need to take a bus also. There's no shame, honestly. So, those are the areas that you need to look into, not to compromise on your time. That's also important, right? But so how do you balance that? या तो फिर मैं jet पकड़ के जाऊंगा या तो फिर train से जाऊंगा. So that is also a very crucial decision that you need to make as well, when an entrepreneur. Is the team and the founders coachable? When I say coachable is मुझे सब कुछ आता है. That attitude does not work. Okay? You need to be able to learn a lot of skill sets on your own. I come from a very salesy background, and fortunately, I had an opportunity to learn CorelDRAW, Adobe Illustrator, designing. करना पड़ता है. So, are you ready to do that? Are you willing, are you open to do those kind of work so that tomorrow at least you are aware of what's happening. It's not that you have to do it. Basic accounting. I'm sure most of them, fear with numbers. At least I had a fear with numbers. But I had to learn that. Why? Because I cannot be only dependent on someone. What if that particular team member leaves? You're left in a lurch as well. And there are ample of examples. I'm sure within your businesses it would have happened that one fine day, your team member does not turn up, he or she is not well, and you are left with a big problem because you have a presentation to make. Unfortunately, he or she has made a presentation and you don't even have a clue of, what needs to be done. And there is a client meeting that is anyway scheduled. तो आप करोगे क्या? So, you need to not micromanage, but be engaged. That is the whole idea and purpose of this particular point. Team and founders are flexible to change. Self-explanatory. If you need to be moved from one department or the, are you willing to? Not saying that, oh no, I am the founder, you can't move me. No, it has to be in the best interest of your business, not in the best interest of you first. Business has to be first, because that's your baby, right? As a mother, I'm sure, we all give your priorities to, as a parent, to our children. That's how it is, because it's a dream. Commitment, most important. Without it, I'm sure, nothing works. So are you committed to your dream? What kind of commitment do you have when you're starting your business? Very crucial. Are you willing to give that sacrifice? Are you willing to run that extra mile? Are you willing to compromise on certain aspects? Not quality of service, okay, by the way. Some areas of your comfort, for that matter. These are some of the pointers I will just glance through in short. Understand yourself better, which means your skill sets, your SWOT analysis for that matter. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities that you feel you have? Where do you think you lack? That's most important. Second is, why do you need funds? Question hota hai, how much is too much? There are people who come to me as founders and say, sir, I need $1 million. Why? What is the rationale behind it? Do you really know that? If you don't have the exact number, at least you should have some idea about it, a guesstimate. Okay, why do you need that? How do you intend to utilize it to acquire funds and to scale up your business? Okay, are you spending in marketing? Are you spending in people management, technology, research and development? Are there any other areas that you are focusing on? So do you have an understanding of where all that 100 rupees that you're asking from is going in the next 1.5, 2 years, so that it's not only about the money which you're spending, but the runway period, which means when is the next round you're going to raise till the time you need that particular space to run your business. So that's also very important to understand. Very important. You need to know whom you're talking to. Otherwise it becomes a pain. Many times I've seen startups struggling because they've just taken the check without even understanding whether he or she as an investor is going to add value to you. Okay. Why? Because you just wanted funds. There are examples where I have mentored startups which had to shut down their business because of wrong commitments that they have been able to get from investors. I mean, or no offense to the investor community, but yes, point is you need to be able to do research. Whom are you talking to? What is the value that they are going to add apart from writing the check as well? Are they helping you open doors? Are they helping you bring more value to your business in terms of network, in terms of business, so on and so forth? I mean, that doesn't mean that he or she becomes a salesperson for you. It's more of value addition that they are going to be bringing on this. Most important I've seen, you connect on LinkedIn. Sir, I am doing this business. We are looking for funds. Do you really understand that person in the first place? Is he or she investing in your kind of business or not? So LinkedIn is good to connect, but don't spam people. I've seen people sending their pitch decks to companies which are not even focused on that sector, which means you have not even understood what you're doing or that investor is investing in. So very important, because then you keep chasing him or her. And then you once fine day you meet in a forum like this and you say, sir, आपने तो मेरे को respond ही नहीं दिया है. अरे भाई तुमने मेरे को गलत भेजा है, तो मैं कैसे respond करूँगा? Very important, Investment thesis, the thought process of why are they investing in certain sectors only? Because one is they have a knowledge of that, or they have an inclination towards that, or they see that sector as a hotbed in the next 3-5 years. Because as an investor, we also have to understand where that industry is moving. How am I going to make money out of that space as well? So it is very important for you also to understand when you're looking at talking to investment community. Storytelling, most important, right? As ma'am said, मेरे मदर को प्रॉब्लम हो गया था इसीलिए वो बिजनेस एग्जिस्ट हुआ. So how are you weaving your business story around that? Okay, don't make it a melodrama, make it believable. It has to have facts and figures about your business. So for example, I started Millennium Divas because during my mentoring career of 9 years, I had approximately 20 to 30% women entrepreneurs coming to me. And then I saw a great opportunity saying that, look, this number is going to grow. It's not going to decline. Third thing I saw is there is an opportunity to support them because their challenges are very different, which I have been able to understand. That is where I got into the space of supporting women entrepreneurs. So there's a story behind that. There is a rationale behind that as to why I, as a man, is trying to support a women entrepreneurship community. So is your story really making sense? Why did you start this business? What made you get into this space as well? Very important. This helps us to also understand what kind of core strengths you bring. What kind of vision do you have for your business? 10 slides deck in terms of your business. Keep it sweet and short, as simple as that. Talk about certain pointers of the what, why, and how of your business so that we understand in short, okay, this is what the entire value proposition is all about. And then that is where we engage. It's like, providing a hook. If you have to catch a fish, you need to provide a bait, right? So it's a good bait. What kind of bait are you providing me? Am I able to understand your business as well? So the next two slides, I'll talk about quick pointers. I'll share these slides also with the organizers. You can connect with them. You can connect with me also as well. It's a great ready reckoner that I always send it to all my mentees and all the startups that I engage with for them to understand what all value propositions that you need to put in mind or you need to keep in mind when you are talking to investors. Irrespective, even if you're not talking to investors, this is the skeletal for your business value proposition as well. I'll share those slides anyways. Okay. What has changed in the industry? Simple example. You previously used to go and ask the auto rickshaw guy. Now, click of a button and the transportation comes to you, right? So that's how the industry has changed. That's how the way we consume services has changed, right? So are you able to understand that? Again, what you do, which means how are you using technology to make your customer's life simple? Don't make it complex. Many times what happens is, we are human beings, right? So we try to look at a problem in such a way that it's a huge space. Can we make our consumer's life simple? Okay. That's the whole objective. Again, with Uber, what happened? It made us our life simple, right? We don't need to walk. It comes to us. It has made things simple for us. Some facts, okay, which means the basic research of why did you choose this business? What are the opportunities? How the market is going to grow in the next 5, 10 years or 15 years? Are you looking at local? Are you looking at global markets? Okay. Some rationale behind that. Agenda. When you're talking to investors, what is the agenda? Fundraise, right? Or understanding whether he or she is able to engage with you. So have a proper agenda in place. Problem statement. Your business should be able to explain itself in one sentence. Which means today, if I have to talk about Millennium Divas, we are a platform providing support and solutions to women entrepreneurs. As simple as that. Via funding and mentoring. Which means the means of engagement is this. So I have been able to explain my business in a very simple language. So that you at least know, okay, this is a company doing this. Best example is walking the talk. So if you have a product, show it. If you have a prototype or a minimal viable product, show it. a demonstration is always better, right? If I have to say, oh, I create a wonderful biryani which helps you think that you are in heaven. But if I can make you taste that, and if you feel, wow, that's what is the demonstration about your product. So can you be able to demonstrate your business or help the investor understand what you are doing in a very simple sense? Again, these are all terminologies which you need to understand. TAM is the total accessible market, which means, let's say, for example, we have 1 billion women in this country, or on this earth, right? Out of which 10% are in India. Okay, when I say women, it is from, let's say, 16 to 60. Okay, and if you are selling, let's say, t-shirts, I'm sure not all women will buy t-shirts, right? Some of them only prefer salwar kameez, some of them only prefer sari, right? So then you break down your market, right? So that's the total addressable market, available market. So total available market is the overall space. Then comes your serviceable available market, which means you are currently in India, right? So you will not talk about the 10 billion. You will only talk about the 10% of the 10 billion market, because you're currently going to be focusing on India, as well. Then comes your serviceable optimal market, which means 10% of that 10% is what you currently be able to service, because you're not going to be able to reach across the platform or across the country. Most important, यहाँ पे है ना वो ego आ जाता है, नहीं, we are the best. Never demean your competition. Trust me. Why? Because you might be different from them, but I'm sure they exist because, and hence you are also into the space, right? Unless you are most innovative company in the entire globe and you are the first mover advantage. But I'm sure that's very, very rare. That eureka moment is very rare because, let's say, a simple example of Chayos. टपरी वाला तो था ही ना पहले से ही. Then you modified and then you brought in the value proposition, the comfort, the tea types, so on and so forth, right? So I'm sure your business is existing somewhere in this particular whole earth, right? So you need to be aware of that and then build your value proposition on that, that what else are you doing? What different are you doing? How are you doing that differently? And most important is find those competitors. There are a lot of startups who come to me and say, sir, we don't have any competition. Then I tell them, look, then I am really sad. I'm really sorry that you don't even know what you're doing. It's a fact of life. You need to be able to find at least one or two companies which are not similar somewhere. Because that is where your, what you could say is demarcation about your services will happen. Your product, your differentiator, the USP, okay? One caution, never use price as your USP. Why? Because let's say, for example, if you're competing with IBM, and if IBM is selling at 100 rupees and you are selling at 90, tomorrow IBM can definitely afford to put it at 80, right? Because they have deep pockets. The only way to kill competition is, one is you either acquire them, or you either kill them with the price. Business model. Again, coming back, how do you make money? What are the value propositions? What is your go-to-market strategy? Okay, how are you acquiring customers? You need to be able to decipher that. Last but not the least, the ACE team. Who's gonna be the driver? And how are you gonna be able to drive? So I always give this analogy that, a mentor is a navigator in the rally race. Okay, he does not drive, he helps the driver to achieve the results. Financials, very important. Okay, this is one slide. It's about the fund ask. Okay, so you talk about how much are you looking at, how will you spend the fund, what is the valuation. Very tricky. You see a lot of news in the valuation part that X fund has been raised at a valuation of Y, so on and so forth. Inflated valuation kills investors, and then the second exit nahi milta hai. So very important to understand the valuation. There are 9 methods. currently the common used in India is DCF, discounted cash flow method. Okay, so study that as well. It's a great way to at least know something. Clear defined exit strategy. So what is an exit strategy? It is about how are you going to be able to take your business to the next level. Either you're going to get acquired or you're going to get to IPO. That's the first way to look at. Second is how is the investor going to get an exit? Okay, so you need to be able to understand that very clearly. So this is something about us as a group. We have a co-working space at Parsec Hill, very beautiful and serene. I recommend everyone to visit that. We have an investment network called Naman Angels. And Billion Divas is a fund, a platform for women entrepreneurs. So our focus is on blockchain, edutech, emerging tech, health tech, infra tech, fintech, and impact enterprises. Okay, impact is the largest space that we focus on at the moment. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. I hope I have been able to add value. Do we have time for questions? Can I take one, two? Okay. I hope I was not so boring. We do, but it has to be in that sector that we had. Okay. Yes. These are some of the favorite sectors that we have. We look at. So your CA will be able to give you the right parameters of how you should look at. Ideally, it's 10x or 12x of your current revenue generated, gross, so on and so forth. So you'll have your your balance sheet as well, right? So it will help you enable that. In the next 1 year or 2 year, what milestones are you going to be able to reach? And from there, use the methods, 9 methods, DCF is the current one. It will help you come to that particular space. So for example, if your current revenue, gross revenue is 10 lakhs, so it's like 10 into 10x, kind of a space as well. So that I think your CA will be able to give you the right matrices on that space. So there is no thumb rule, but what you normally need to be able to understand is certain key areas like what is your burn rate, which means, per month cash outflow in terms of your expenses, okay? Where are you using that particular money that you want to raise? So for example, if your revenue is, let's say 10 lakhs today or, 1 CR, okay? Are you willing to open up new markets so that your revenue goes 10 times, okay? For that, what do you need? So you need a manpower, you need technological upgradation, customer acquisition cost, operational cost, so on and so forth. So what you do is you create a projection-based matrices where you say, okay, today I have 1 lakh customers. Now if I have to acquire 10 lakh, which means 10x, or if I have to acquire 50 lakh customers, what all do I need to do? Okay, team, technology, office premises or office spaces. So there is a cost structure to it. When you have team coming in, your monthly salaries or your annual, payouts that are going. So then you look at, okay, if I have to achieve this particular number, I will need to at least reach, let's say in 1.5 years, because from 0 to 1, you would have taken some time, right? So you would not want to take the same time, you might want to reduce the time. So for you to reduce the time, you need to increase your outreach or your go-to-market. So till when do you think you will be able to sustain and do a break even? Which means now you have been cash negative. When is that curve becoming cash positive? So you will have that graph coming in where your expenses are this and your profit margins are down and then it's going up, right? So you will come to that particular standpoint and then that is where you calculate. So there's no thumb rule as such, you have to raise 10x or 20x. It depends from business to business. It depends from your strategy in terms of how fast you want to reach. Right? So, thoda permutation combinations, there is aggressive predictions that you need to do. there is rational predictions that you need to do. So it's a permission combination of a lot of areas that you need to focus on.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to India's first corporate news channel. We invite interviews, articles, press releases from your organization. Visit our portal www.indianconventions.com. Thank you.